Welcome back, Renegades. Today we have another Pokemon TCG live video. This is an upgraded version of Marnie's rival deck for Grimmsnarl. The deck profile and matches will be timestamped in the description. If you're enjoying the content, please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so here we have the updated Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX deck. It came with the rival deck. We did some upgrades to it to make it more competitive for the standard format. So we have Bidoo. We're running 2 copies of Bidoo. 30 HP basic Pokemon, 0 energy attack, Itchy Pollen. Does 10 damage, but the most important thing is during your opponent's next turn, they can't play any item cards from their hand, so kind of item locking them for a turn. Really good card. With free retreat as well. A single copy of Shaman from the newest set. 80 HP basic Pokemon with the ability Flower Curtain. Prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon that don't have a rule box by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So Pokemon EX, Pokemon V, etc. have rule boxes. For 2 colorless energy, we can Smash Kick for 30 damage, but most of the time it just sits on the bench, kind of protecting us a little bit. It does have a single retreat cost, so if the opponent does pull it up, it's not too much of an investment to get it back on the bench and out of danger. We're running 2 copies of Snorunt from TWM. Basic, 60 HP water type. This is a bench Pokemon. We don't plan on attacking with it. We have no water energy. 2 copies of that, and then we have 2 copies of the Stage 1 version, Frostless, which is 90 HP with the ability Freezing Shroud. During Pokemon Checkup, put 1 damage counter on each Pokemon that has an ability, both you and your opponents, except for Frostlass. So same concept, we just leave it on the bench, kind of distributing some damage counters during Checkup. 1 retreat cost, so if they do pull it forward, not too much to get back. 3 copies of Monkey Dory from PRE. This is our main damage counter mover for 110 HP. The ability Adrenabrain. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon has any dark energy attached, you may move up to 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Once again, this sits on the bench, just allowing us to maneuver some damage counters off of Grimmsnarl to the opponent or off of Monkey Dories as well because of the Frostlass putting damage on it. So we don't attack with this as well, and 1 single retreat cost. We are running the Grimmsnarl line. We're running a 4-2-3 split. 4 of Marnie's Impidimp, the basic version for 70 HP. For 1 colorless energy, we can Filch, draw a card. Or for 1 dark, we can Corkscrew Punch for 10. And it does have a single retreat. 4 copies of that. Then we have Morgrim, which we're running 2 copies. This is the Stage 1 version. Marnie's Morgrim, 100 HP for double dark energy. Corkscrew Punch just gets a little stronger for 60 damage and 1 single retreat cost. 3 copies of our main Pokemon here, Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. It has HP of 320, but it does, keyword here, evolves from Marnie's Morgrim. So if you have another, for some reason you're running Morgrim and Grimmsnarl line, if they're not Marnie's, it won't evolve into that. So the ability Punk Up, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 5 basic dark energy and attach them to your Marnie's Pokemon in any way you like. Then you shuffle your deck. We do have a low energy count in this deck because of the Grimmsnarl's ability. So for 2 dark energy, we have Shadow Bullet, which is the main attack we do for 180. This attack also does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Don't apply weaknesses or resistance for bench Pokemon. It does have a double retreat cost, but this is the one we want most of the time on the front line anyways. So going into our items, we're running 2 copies of Buddy Buddy Puppin. Then search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less, put them on your bench, shuffle your deck. This just helps us get the Morgrim, or the Impidimp line, the Snoruts, whatever we need to get onto the bench to start building. We can't grab Monkey Dory because it's 110 HP, and we cannot grab Shaman with it. But we are running 3 copies of Counter Catcher. So if your opponent, so you can only use this card only if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent. So if you're behind, this allows you to switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. 1 single copy of Earthen Vessel. So you have to trash a card, discard a card from your hand, search your deck for 2 basic energy, reveal them, put them in your hand, then shuffle your deck. This helps us with getting energy from Monkey Dory because Grimmsnarl will only put energy on Marnie's Pokemon. So we want to make sure we're saving our energy plays from hand for the Monkey Dories and trying to use Grimmsnarl to get him out of the deck to attach to himself. Not always the ideal way to do it, but that's the plan. We're running 2 copies of Night Stretcher. Put a Pokemon or basic energy from your discard pile into your hand. Just a little bit of recursion and consistency for the deck. We're running 2 copies of Rare Candy. This allows us to cheat from Impidimp into Grimmsnarl. So we get to choose one of our basic Pokemon in play. If we have a Stage 2 in our hand that evolves from that Pokemon, we get to put that card onto the basic Pokemon to evolve it, skipping the Stage 1. So we can't use this card during our first turn or on a basic Pokemon that was put into play this turn. But this just helps us kind of cheat the evolution line a little bit. So our A spec for the deck, this could be any A spec. Maximum Belt, I like that with some of the other decks, but we're running Secret Box here. You can only use this card if you discard 3 other cards. So you got to discard 3, but you get to search your deck for an item card, a Pokemon tool, a supporter, and a stadium, or put them back in your hand, shuffle your deck. Like I said, the A specs are always flexible, kind of what you want, whatever you want going on. If you want to have a little bit more damage, Maximum Belt's probably good. A single copy of Super Rod, because like I said, our energy is very low in the deck. So being able to shuffle up to 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy back into the deck helps keep us in if the game goes longer than we want. 1 Ultra Ball, we discard 2, go grab any Pokemon we want from our deck, put it in our hand. This just helps us find the missing pieces we need. For stadiums, we're running 4 stadiums total, a 2-2 split between Artisan and Artisan. Just once during each player's turn, that player may search their deck for a basic Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box and put it on their bench. Then that player shuffles their deck. Once again, rule box Pokemon are EXs, Vs, etc. So 2 copies of that, and then 2 copies of our main stadium, Spikemouth Gym. Once during each player's turn, we can search our deck for Marnie's Pokemon, put it in our hand. This just allows us to get the pieces we need for Grimmsnarl. With some supporters, we're running 4 copies of Arven. You can search your deck for an item card and a Pokemon tool, reveal and put in your hand, shuffle your deck. Just consistency to the deck so we're not burning out early. 1 single copy of Boss's Orders. This just allows us to switch in one of our opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. So if we can move a damaged Pokemon back up and then hit them for the 180 and then 30 damage, maybe taking out multiple Pokemon in one shot. 4 copies of Iono. Each player shuffles their hand and puts it at the bottom of their deck. If either player put any cards on the bottom of their deck this way, each player draws a card for each of the remaining prize cards. Sometimes our hand is not what we want, so just getting a reshuffle is good without losing resources. So that was 4 copies of Iono. 3 copies of Professor's Research. That's just discard your hand and draw 7 cards. Sometimes our hand isn't useful, and we just need to get rid of it to get what we need. Into the tools, we are running 4 tools. We're running 1 of each. 1 Defiance Band. So if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, this attack of the Pokemon this card is attached to does 30 more damage. So just kind of helping us evolve Grimmsnarl's attack just a little bit higher. 1 copy of Rescue Board. The retreat cost of the Pokemon this card is attached to is a colorless less. If this Pokemon's remaining HP is 30 or less, it has no retreat cost. This just helps us if they put our Frostlass or our Monkey Dories to the front line or Shamans, we can detach and bring it back. Because like I said, our energy is kind of limited in the deck. 1 copy of TM Devolution. The Pokemon this card is attached to can use the attack on this card. If this card is attached to one of your Pokemon, discard at the end of your turn. So it's a one-time use with 1 colorless. Devolution. Devolve each of your opponent's evolved Pokemon by putting the highest stage evolution card on it into your opponent's hand. So this will help a little bit with some of the stage 2 EXs after we've been doing some damage. And if they have extremely high HP, we can devolve, putting that EX back in their hand, and most likely the stage 1 has already taken enough damage to be taken out. 1 copy of TM Evolution. This is the same concept. It's a one-shot use. So for colorless, we can choose 2 of our bench Pokemon. For each of those Pokemon, we search our deck for a card that evolves from that Pokemon and put it onto the Pokemon to evolve it, then shuffle your deck. So this just helps us kind of get the Frostlass up there if we're having a hard time getting it going. If we need more Grimm because we don't have the rare candy. Whatever we need going on for it. Then we are running 8 basic energy, just basic dark energy here. We're only running 8. Like I said, energy is very slim in this deck, but with Grimmsnarl's ability, it doesn't affect too bad. Alright, but let me know what you guys think, and let's get into some gameplay. Alright, opponent's going to go first. We got our Impidimp, so we'll lead that with that, and Snorunt in the back. Alright, so Maracactus, if this Pokemon is in the active spot and is knocked out by damage, put 6 on the attacking. That's pretty good. And then that's the Blood Moon thing. Yeah, that card's a little annoying. We could put this in the active spot and just kind of beat down on it a little bit. Alright, let's grab a Badoo and an Impidimp. We're going to use boss's orders, pulling up this big guy. I'm going to start poking at him, because his attacks cost 1 less for each prize card we've taken. So if we can keep him on the front line and just kind of beat him down while we're trying to get to where we need to be. Whenever any player attaches an energy from their hand to one of their basic non-water, put 2 damage on it. Okay. And Arvin is going to grab them an item and a tool. I got Hop's bag, and I didn't quite see the other one. Pretty quick. Alright, grab some Hop's Pokemon, filling the bench up. Oh, Hop's Choice Band must have been the one they grabbed. Let's see, if we trash all 3 cards, we can get an item, a tool, a supporter, and a stadium. Let's do that. We're going to grab the rare candy. We will grab our stadium. We will grab our skateboard, rescue board there. And we will also grab research. We're going to play it on the stadium. We're going to use the stadium to go grab Grimmsnarl. We're going to use rare candy onto Grimmsnarl, or onto Impidimp. Go get some energy. So we're going to grab 3. We're going to put 1 on Grimmsnarl and then 2 more on Impidimp. We're going to put the skateboard on Snorunt so we don't lose it. And then we'll research. Shaman. Monkey Dory. Morgrim. We're going to use the vessel. And we're going to get rid of our stadium here. We'll get some energy. Going to put 1 on Monkey Dory. And then we're going to smack for 180. And we're going to put 30 on this Maracactus in the back. So Shaman's going to help us prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon that don't have a rule box by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. And I believe this one is the one that could deal 30, yep. So Latias, EX, great timing. They're going to be able to retreat this guy. Switch your active Pokemon when your bench Pokemon during this turn. Attacks used by do 30 more damage. So they're going to bring up Zacian EX. So they're not going to be able to, they shouldn't be able to snipe our bench. Nope. They tried to snipe the bench, but we have Shaman down. We're going to use the gym. We're going to grab another Grimmsnarl. We don't need to use the Punk Up ability. We'll put Defiance Band on Grimmsnarl. We'll use Arvin, see what we can find. Grab a Night Stretcher, and we have to grab a tool. Let's grab the Evo. Monkey Dory, we're going to use that effect before we forget. We're going to push that damage to the big guy in the back. Then we're not going to place an energy. So we're going to do 180 to Zacian. And then let's put the 30. I'll put the 30 on the big guy in the back. Try to work him down. He's only got 10 health left. We haven't taken any hit points, so this thing is still going to cost everything they got. Alright, Postwick, pretty good. It gives their Hops Pokemon 30 more damage to the attack. Plus, they also have the Snorlax here in the back, pumping an additional 30, as well as Hop's Choice Band doing 30, and making their attack Insta-Strike free. Which is pretty good. 120 damage for no energy is really good. Hop's bag. They're only going to grab 1, but let's see what they grab. Yep, they got that Dodo Bird. Cramorant. Card's okay. It's like a one-hit wonder, but I mean, it's still pretty effective. So they're going to do 180 or 120 here. Still trying to snipe the bench. Let's see what we can do now. The Evo would be nice, but I don't think we're going to want to waste it right now. So we're going to use the brain. We're gonna take out the big guy in the back. Just take him out. Alright, let's get rid of their stadium before they get too ahead of themselves. We're gonna use Arvin here. Let's use Super Rod and the Devolution card. Alright, so if I'm not mistaken here, we're just gonna smack for 180. We're gonna take this out, and then we're gonna put 30 on this guy that we've been working over here. They should put us down to 2 prize cards, so this bird isn't gonna do anything. There's Froless, nice. So this bird won't be able to do anything, because we had to have 3 or 4 prize cards. And we were able to go from 6 to 2 that turn. And we still have a Grimmsnarl to back us up if they do happen to take this guy out. So we should be able to start working some damage here. So Morty's Conviction, you have to discard a card. They draw a card for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Alright, so they trash 1, draw 5. That's pretty good. Not bad. Okay, then they have Serendipity, which allows them to draw more cards. Assuming they're looking for a Dark Energy for the Monkey Dory. It doesn't do anything. Alright. That works. Alright, we got it. Alright, opponent will be going first. So we do have a basic, the Monkey Dory. Not ideal to start with that guy, but... So we do have the Stadium, which will help us get a basic Pokemon going. And we get to draw an extra card as well. Another Monkey Dory. We'll set it to the bench. Alright, Magmar. Yeah, we definitely need something in order to start doing some damage, because the Monkey Dories, we don't actually run any Psychic Energy. They're just mostly there for us to be able to move damage around. Alright, so let's use the Stadium. Let's grab Impidimp. We'll use Arvin. Let's grab a Night Stretcher. Let's grab the rescue board so we can get this Monkey Dory off of here after we evolve. So we're going to use the evolution, and then we're going to evolve our Impidimp. And the next turn we'll retreat. We'll put the rescue board on Monkey Dory and retreat it back. The opponent's using the Stadium to grab a basic Pokemon. Another Magmar. Alright, they're going to play out Nest Ball. Ethan's Ho-Ho. Using its ability Golden Flame, they can attach energy to it. It's a pretty decent Pokemon to be able to level up the energy count pretty high. They use the Professor's Research. Just drew him some new cards. Alright, then they're playing out the Ultra Ball. Trashing some cards. Probably going to grab their... No, they grabbed Houndour. Alright. Team Rocket's Houndour. They're going to play down a Badoo. And what they grab? Volcanion. That's the one. Volcanion. Alright, we're going to put the rescue board on our Monkey Dory first. And let's grab a Shaman. Protect our bench a little bit. Not really sure what they're doing. So we'll use Arvin. Let's grab Ultra Ball and our Devolution thing. Now we're going to use Ultra Ball here with an energy and Boss's Orders to go get Grimmsnarl. Going to evolve Grimmsnarl. Using its Punk Up ability, we're going to go grab 2 energy. And then we're going to retreat Monkey Dory, bring up Grimmsnarl, and we're going to try to get to work on these guys. I'm going to use Shadow Bullet on the Magmar as well as the Badoo. So we got the gem and a catcher. Alright, so once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active position, you may have your opponent's active Pokemon burned. And then the Magmar, if they play down Magmortar. So they did evolve into Houndoom. Super Rod, recycling some things. I mean, I guess the good thing about us being burned is Monkey Dories can start pushing damage back. It's when they start getting the Magmortars that the damage stacks up extremely quick. Let's see, we have 1 energy in the trash. 1, 2, 3. So we have potentially 5 energy somewhere. Alright, Nest Ball. Gonna get him a basic Pokemon. Alright, the Latias EX, which says your basic Pokemon in play have no retreat cost. It's a very effective ability. Energy on Houndoom. Team Rocket's Houndoom. And now they're going to switch something out. Alright, bringing in Houndoom. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned and confused. That's pretty good. So we're burned and confused all around. Tails, we're still burned and confused. Alright, so we're going to drop Snorlax. And we're going to shuffle our hand around, grab some more cards, see if we can get another energy. We did get Impidimp, so we'll play that. We'll put an energy on our other Monkey Dory. We're going to use Monkey Dory's effect to take some of this damage off. Let's put it on Magmar in the back. And then I don't think there's any more damage to move. Nope. Okay, so Defiance Band isn't going to help at this moment. We'll put it on the other one. Alright, so we're going to attempt to hit this. We'll see what happens. Nope, we failed. We're confused. We're going to damage ourselves. So we're up to 50 damage. We're still burned. Alright, so what does this attack do? Scorching Fire for 120. Then they have to discard an energy. I mean, it's still pretty effective attack. There's the Mag Mortar. So the Mag Mortar, during your opponent's checkup, put 3 more damage counter on your opponent's burned Pokemon. And they have 2 of those on the field now. So now damage is going to start adding up. They're going to be putting 6, 8, 80 damage between checkups. And we can only move like 60 of it. So we'll have to try to make, as long as we can connect, our Pokemon is confused. Yeah, Team Rocket's Houndoom was a good addition for the deck. So we're going to smack for 120, puts it to 170, and then 80 during checkup, 250. Oh, man. That another 20? Yeah, there it is. Just stacking it up. Alright, we're going to use research. We need to do something. That's, put the gym down. We could retreat it, but we don't really have anything. Actually, we do. Let's see. Well, let me look through my entire deck. I have 2 energy. Okay, cool. So I have to go get a Marnie's Pokemon. We're going to grab an Impidimp. So we're actually going to retreat our Grimmsnarl before it completely dies. Then we're going to rare candy into our Grimmsnarl, our fresh one. We're going to go get those 2 energy that are left in the deck. We're going to put them on this Grimmsnarl. We're going to use Monkey Dory's effect here. Going to try to heal our guy a little bit. So we're going to put 60 on this Mag Mortar in the back. Just try to get some of that damage moved around. Alright, and now let's put our energy on our Grimmsnarl here. And we'll put 30 more on the other Mag Mortar as well. Same Mag Mortar. So during... Oh, we don't have Prolist yet. Okay. So they get to just bring this guy up, burn us, retreat it, bring an attacker up, and then Mag Mortars in the back just completely annihilating everything. It's pretty good. So we're gonna be taking 80 damage during checkup. And let's see, Ho-Ho does 160, plus 80 is 240, and they get to heal damage, so could be an issue. I think we'll still be able to take out a Mag Mortar next turn. At least one. So 160 plus the 80. They did heal 60 from Mag Mortar. So up to 240. Now it's still burned. No luck with that. We're just going to keep getting burned out. So before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's start using the Adrenaline. So we can do 180 this Ho-Ho. So 180. We can do 60. Yeah. We're going to put it on the Ho-Ho here. That way we can take it out. Alright. Let's use Arven, see what we can find. Get the Night Stretcher and De-Evolution. Night Stretcher is going to get us back in energy. We're going to put that on our Grimmsnarl so we're ready to go. So De-Evolution's good, but right now we have to take this out. But we will find a time to be able to devolve these Mag Mortars. Alright, let's do 180 there. They should put it up to 240 and then push 30 to the Mag Mortar. So we got rid of Ethan's Ho-Oh. Alright, so Super Rod and Marnie's Impidimp. So this Grimmsnarl is not going to make it through rotation. Oh, we're not burned anymore. Okay, well, that's going to change very quickly. Because they just got to retreat this. Another Mag Mortar. Oh, man. Alright, so grab some Houndours. Yep, bringing up Volcanion. Burning our guy. But that means he has to stay inactive, right? Yeah, but they just KO'd it with the burn. Getting them some prize cards, which is good. So we're going to bring up Grimmsnarl. We're going to use the TM Devolution. We're going to drop down Impidimp. Use Super Rod, just in case we don't get through this. Grab an energy and 2 energies in Grimmsnarl. Alright, let's use the Monkey Dory's effects as well. We're going to pull some damage here. Let's go... We're going to put them on this one. Just trying to heal our Grimmsnarl down. Just in case something goes wrong. Yep, opponent's seen it. Opponent won this coin flip. They get to decide who goes first. Alright, opponent's choosing us to go first. Alright. So we're going to put Badoo up front. Impidimp in the back. We do have the evolution line here. We have an earthen vessel if we need to get some energy earlier. Alright, this looks like ends deck here. Not Snorunt, okay. Alright, so we can retreat, but there's no point. Let's go Earthen Vessel. Let's get rid of Arven. We'll get some energy. So we had 7 energy in the deck to begin with, so 1 is in the prize pool. Put 1 on Impidimp, and pass turn. Alright, opponent's going to play down Buddy Buddy Puffin, getting 2 Zoru, Nest Ball, grabbing them a basic Pokemon, and Reshiram. And put the energy back here. I definitely don't want the Darumaka in the front line. 2 energy and high. I'm not really sure if that's actually going to be effective or not in this matchup, but we're going to still play it. We're going to play down, we're going to attack with Badoo. So shutting off items, item locking them for the turn. Alright, there's the Zoroark EX, which has the cool ability of trade. They can trash a card to draw 2. And if they get this guy to the front line before we get our big guy active, we could be in trouble. Because he can copy the end Pokemon's effects. Alright, another Zoroark down. And they usually just play this one for the damage, the 170. Alright, they're bringing the big guy out, evolving him. So 3 energy, so they got like a switch or something. Some way to get it out. Okay. 1 on Impidimp. We're going to evolve into the Grimmsnarl EX. Do we want to use Punk Up? Yes, sure. We're going to grab 1 energy. And we're going to put it on our Impidimp. We will retreat Badoo for Grimmsnarl. We're going to go 180, taking out the Darmanitan. And then we're going to go 30 damage to the Zoroark here. We got a research, which is good, so we can trash that next turn to draw a bunch of cards. Alright, so they can do 170 with the Virtuous Flame. That Hero's Cape, man, that's crazy. 100 HP. Alright, so they just use the trade in order to filter out some trashing to draw some cards. Darumaka back down, using trade again. Ends Castle. They have no retreat cost, which is good. Alright, so now they're going to use the Night Joker, using Reshiram's attack for 170. Alright, Impidimp down. Professor's Research. We're going to get rid of that stadium. We're going to use the stadium, our stadium here. Let's grab Monkey Dory. So 170 again is going to take this guy out. Alright, so we definitely could use... We're going to use Arven next turn more likely to try to get a rare candy. So we can get that another Grimmsnarl online. Alright, they're using trade. Just kind of filtering out a little bit. Utilizing our stadium here. Getting another Doradamon. Or Darumaka. Nice stretcher. Probably bringing back the big one. Couldn't really see. Yep, Darmanitan. Alright, so this has got an ability attack too, right? They can utilize. Discard all energy. Also 90 damage from your opponent's bench Pokemon. That's pretty good. If he snags that one, he could shot this and this, but just 500 damage. Badoo's gonna come up front as a spot holder because we can do a free retreat with him till he can figure out what's going on. We don't want boss's orders right now. We're gonna risk it with Arven, see if we can find that rare candy. There it is. And we'll also grab De-Evolution. Alright, actually De-Evolution might actually be better than any other attack this turn. So we're gonna rare candy into Grimmsnarl here. We're gonna use Punk Up. Grabbing 2 energy. I'll put it on our Impidimp. We are going to retreat Badoo for Grimmsnarl. Because if we use the De-Evolution, it will knock out both of these. And I think that's probably the better option. They still have 1 in the backfield they can utilize, but I think that put them far enough behind for us to catch up. Alright, they're using trade. Alright. They got Ferris Dippity, so they can draw some more cards. Zondipity. Alright, Earthen Vessel, getting him some more energy. We have the counter catcher. We also have boss's orders. Ends PP up. They gave it to this guy. Alright, over to us. Alright, what do we do? First thing first, let's use the stadium. We're going to grab Shaman. And then we're going to replace the stadium. We're going to use that to go get our Morgrim. Nope, we don't have Morgrim. Okay, that's fine. Grimmsnarl it is. So we can do 180, which isn't enough to take it out. If we boss's order up the Reshiram, then that's one less Z. Our ends Pokemon they can do. We could also bring this guy up because he does 30 damage for each basic energy in your opponent's discard pile, or 90 damage. So we have 2 energy. Because 180 we can do. Alright, we gotta make a decision. Boss's orders. We're gonna bring up the Duraniton. Darmanitan. Alright, that bought us a couple seconds to think. And now we're gonna use Shadow Bullet. And we're gonna shoot 30 at the Zoroark in the back, taking out the Darmanitan. Getting another Monkey Dory, which is not what we need. Is this guy not taking any damage? I don't know if I'm just not seeing the damage pile up on this guy or not. Alright, so he got another one back, so he can still take... He probably one-shot this thing still. Maybe. Oh, Iono? Yeah, we definitely needed a redraw. Research is fine. Alright, ends Castle again. Buddy poppin'. Ends PP up. Alright, giving it to this guy. Zoro. Night Joker coming in, doing a bunch of damage. 170, so we're at 200, so we didn't get KO'd. Alright, he is taking hits. Okay, good. Alright, so we don't need any of the cards that are in our hand. So let's get rid of them. Alright, so energy on Monkey Dory. Rescue board on Monkey Dory. Changing out the stadium. We're going to use Monkey Dory's effect to remove some damage from our main guy. So we put this up to 80, 80. Still not enough to take it out. We can put this guy down to like 10 HP. Night Stretcher. Let's grab Morgrim. And then we're going to do 180. We're going to Shadow Bullet Zoro in the back. Technically, if we would have done it to this guy, he would have been KO'd. If we would have put the 30 damage here, because of Frolay's checkup. Yeah, that was a misplay there. We could have got this guy out of here. We could actually won the game. We actually could have won the game right there. If we would have seen the line. We didn't see it. I was just trying to prepare for the opponent's next turn. But yeah, that would have just taken him out. So I think we still have the game though, because we're going to do some damage on checkup. Alright, so we're going to Ultra Ball. Buddy Puppin and Impidimp. You get that last Grimmsnarl. Going to play down the Grimmsnarl. We're not going to punk up. We're just going to go 180 to the front line, and we're going to take out the Zoro in the back. Alright, we got it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.